Advanced file permissions. Here we have three types: SUID, SGID, and sticky bit. Advanced file permissions. See, SUID is used for when you want to allow a normal user to run a command from its shell prompt, so without giving a permissions like read write. Okay, see, then set SUID. So when you set SUID on binary file, even though command executed by normal users, the command will be executed by its owner privileges. Example, so we have a password command, right? Password. Basically, once you install operating system, we have an admin user account. So every service running under operating system maximum is running with root privileges, administrator privileges. For security reason, so normal users is having limited access. They don't have access to modify password related files and some other script files related to operating system. So only admin user can modify. But this command can run normal user also. So for to change his password, he can't modify other users' passwords, but he can reset his own password, right? See, so for to run a normal user, we have to provide a full permissions. That means execute permissions. We have to give execute permissions. When you run password command, so it will ask enter new password, retype the new password to modify. Once you modify the password, what will happen? The same information will be updated to shadow file. Shadow file in the second field, right? Second field related to that particular user. So here required permissions to modify shadow file. But for normal users, no write access. Only admin can update the file permissions. See, then once you set SUID bit on this password command will be executed by its owner privileges. The same ownership is for shadow file also. So he can modify, right? Like any other commands. Instead of giving read, write, and execute access. Okay, just allow a command to run other users with its owner privileges. See, SUID only we can set for binary files. See, ls-l/etc/password. Is there any permissions? Write permissions for others and group? No, only user is having. Okay, let me check the binary file permissions. Password command we have, right? See, to find out binary location of a command, we have which, right? Which. Using which command we can find out binary location of any command. PASSWD. The command is available at user bin, usr bin, right? ls-l/usr bin password. See the permissions here. So there is a special permissions on user executable. Okay, even though password command executed by other users, the command will execute with its owner privileges. Root. Who is owner for this password command? Root. So command will be executed by owner privileges. Then for shadow file also having the same ownership, so user can modify. Okay, new password information into the shadow file. Like there are some examples. We have another commands like ping also. Ping command, right? For to set SUID, the same command we have to use chmod u+s, then binary file name. Okay, to set SUID bit on binary file, use chmod u plus s binary file name. This is a syntax. Once you set by SUID bit at user executable, user will get permissions like read, write, execute, right? Instead of X, it shows S. Okay. So SUID we can set for binaries, not for directories and any other regular files. Only we can set for binaries. Okay. Once you set like this, any user can run, but they can't modify. Only they can run command from its shell prompt. Right. Example, we'll see user add command. Normal users can't create user accounts. Only admin can run user add command. So let me check the permissions on user add. USR sbin user add. See, read, write, execute for user, read, execute for group, no access for others. Okay. So when you set execute access on others can run user add command. Right. Modify chmod o plus x usr sbin and user add. See, other users having execute permissions. Any user can run, but our user add command will modify some files, right? When you run this, so who is owner for those files? Root. Group owner, there is a special group for, user primary group. So there is no permissions for group and other users to write something into that. So even though you provided execute permissions for other users, okay, when user trying to create a user with user add command, it is trying to modify with new user information, password file, shadow file, G group, G shadow file, but there is no write access for other users with new user information. Okay, see, try to run, switch to test user account. After that, we'll see user add. What it says? Permissions denied, cannot lock. Permissions denied, cannot lock. So user add command is trying to modify password, but there is no write access for normal users. Okay. Now set SUID bit. chmod u plus s. Special permissions. Setting special permissions. USR sbin user add. Check that information. See, special permissions applied, right? Yes. Now switch to normal user. Then run user add new. User successfully created or not? Yes. Okay. Here I am not provided any write access. Just allowed users to execute. That's it, right? Only execute permissions, but applied special permissions on user. Okay. So here test user executed command. Even though test user executed user add command, the user add command executed with its owner privileges. Okay, that's it. So when it requires, we can set SUID bit instead of giving full access. Right. Now we have another one, SGID. SGID. Set group ID bit. Set group ID. SUID.
Only we can provide.
Yeah, note down. SUID will be applied. SUID will be applied only on binaries. only on binaries. If SUID bit is set, when the file will be executed by a user, when the file will be executed by a user, the process will have the same rights as the owner. The process will have the same rights as the owner of the file being executed. The process will have the same rights as the owner of the file being executed. See, so if you want to note down like this also. SUID is used to provide owner privileges. On a specific binary file for a normal user. Basically giving admin access, admin rights. Only they can run, even though you applied special permissions, only they can run from its terminal. That's it. See, if you allowed to install, they can. Yeah. So we have to specify SUID bit permissions on specific binary file. Then only user can able to run that binary file. Okay. So syntax, note down this. chmod u plus s. Okay, next SGID bit. So when you SGID bit, note down. SGID bit. SGID means set group ID. SUID set user ID bit. Okay. SGID bit will be bit will be applied on binaries, directories. SGID bit will be applied on binaries, directories. Fine. See, when you set SGID bit on a binary file, okay, if any user executed the command binary file, then that binary file will be executed its group privileges. SUID bit owner privileges and SGID bit group privileges. So whatever the permissions and group ownership is there, okay, with the privileges, script will be executed. Right? See, when you set SGID bit on directories, the same group ownership will be inherited for files and subdirectories. So for example, we have a directory called dir1. So group is G1 and owner is something app. Okay. When you set SGID bit on dir1 directory, if any user accessed this to create some files inside, okay, if user created any files, not only root user, any user, okay, so whatever the group ownership is there for dir1, the same group ownership will be inherited for all files and directories. Same group ownership, okay, will get. right? So whenever you want to set, we can set. Okay, basically this SJID bit is used in web server. Okay, see there is some folders like uploads and downloads folders, so from browsers, so we can upload our profile pics, we can upload some audio video files to example Facebook, right, or in WhatsApp also. So there is a public folder at project directory. Okay, see on the directory there are permissions like full access to everyone, 777. So everyone can upload files into a specific uploads directory in a project. Okay, from browsers, right? See, when a user uploaded files into a specific directory, so who is owner for that file? Specifically user. Who is group owner? The user primary group. If you uploaded files like that, but web server document root directory running with different privileges. If someone is trying to access same image or file from browser, it shows page not found, image not found, audio, a video not found, something, because there is no privileges to read that file. So for that we have to add, even though files uploaded by other users, into the same group ownership or a ownership. We can't add multiple files into at a time into one ownership. So once you upload it, we have a SJID bit. When you set SJID bit, files will be added to group ownership of this parent directory. So we have a parent directory here, dir1, right? Let me check that. So make one directory, dir1, create it. Set permissions chmod, give full access. Now everyone can create files under dir1 directory. Switch to test user, access directory, dir1, create file, touch. Who is owner? Test. Group ownership, test. User, test. Primary group, test. Okay. Okay, exit from this user account, switch to another user account. So we have an app also, one user, right? Access the same directory, create files, touch. See, app user created file name called apple at dir1 directory. The file got ownership app and its primary group as a group ownership. Successfully added, right? See, different files, different ownership and different group ownership. But permissions on parent directory, that means ownership and group ownership is root and root. Right? Like one directory is running at web server document root. Okay, so web server can't understand, right? So with the privileges, once you created with files, like if you allowed users to create files, if user created any file into that or uploaded file into that, what will happen? The file will get that user privileges and group ownership also. Okay, if someone is accessing the same file from browser, the document root directory is running with different privileges, files uploaded with different privileges. This owner can't read these files. Okay, so then you will get a message like page not found, sometimes image. Okay, see, so for that we have to add, even though files uploaded by app user or test or any other user into dir1, apply the same group ownership. Once you added files into the same group ownership, user belongs to same group, files belongs to the same group, then the user process can read the files. User got the privileges to access, then everyone can access the images uploaded by other users from browser. Okay. Now set SGID bit, then create files. Login as test and app. chmod g+s/dir1. See what it shows? Special permissions at group. Okay, special permissions. Yes, added. Now switch to test. Create file. touch/dir1. Created. Exit. su-app. Create touch/dir1/new2. Some files we created. Okay, let me check ls-l, the file center now. See, app user is created, file name called new2, but this file got group privileges root. Okay, test user created one file name called new file. After setting SGID bit, this file got group privileges root. Like we can add, even the users created the files, okay, automatically new files will be added into parent directories group ownership. Pardon? Empty file just created. You can create any files, directories also. We can create any file. Just created file names, that's it. We can create any file, data files. Yeah, we can nano, any editors we can use. We can use any command to create files. We can make directories also now. If you make directories under dir1, the subdirectory also get the same group privileges, right? So this is SGID. Once you set SGID bit on directory, the parent directory belongs to some group, right? The same group ownership will be inherited for files and directories, right? But this SGID bit not applied for existing files and directories. Yeah, after setting the SGID bit, whenever you create a new files, those files will get the same group privileges. For existing files, we have to modify. So we have a chgrp command, right? Using chgrp, existing files group ownership we can modify. Next, okay, note down SGID. Okay, if SGID bit is set on directories, if SGID bit is set on directories, parent directory group is inherited to all new files and directories. Okay, same. Next, sticky bit. Right. See here, at dir1, we have a directory, right? Allowed every user to create files under. Once you allowed every user to create files under a specific directory, any user can remove each other files. Okay, so we have an app user here, test user. Test user can remove app created files under dir1. App user can remove test user created files under dir1 directory, because allowed all users to write, read and execute permissions. Read, write, execute permissions. That means giving full access. Once you given full access for everyone, any user can remove other user files. Okay, each other files. So instead of that, if you want to prevent to removing files each other. Okay, set sticky bit. Even though you allowed users to create files, modify files under a specific directory, okay, so we can prevent to remove each other files with the help of sticky bit. Once you set sticky bit on others, users can't remove other users files. User can't remove other users files. Only owner of the file and root user can remove. See now, set chmod o plus t / dir1. See, once you set sticky bit, it shows a symbol T on others executable bit, right? To remove sticky bit or SUID bit, SGID bit, U minus S, G minus S, O minus T. To add plus operator, to remove minus operator. Special permissions, right? -T. Removed or not? Yes, removed. Special permissions, sticky bit removed. So try to remove file login as test. The files created by app user. So here we have file app user created file new to and apple. Try to remove this apple file. rm apple. Removed, right? Removed or not? Yes. Removed. User removed. See. Exit. Now set sticky bit. Then switch to test. Try to remove now file created by apple. cd dir1 ls-l. Here we have another file new to. The file is created by app rm new to. What it says? Operation not permitted. Only owner of the file. Who is owner for new to? App user can remove. Otherwise, root user can remove the files. Okay. So these three are special permissions. When it requires, we can set. Yeah, we can remove. So if you want to remove SGID bit, sticky bit, or SUID bit, just use minus operator. chmod. If you want to remove SUID bit, U minus S, binary file name. To remove SGID, yes, dir1 removed, like sticky bit O minus T. Removing special permissions. Removing special permissions. Correct? That's it. So now down sticky bit. Okay. If you set sticky bit on file or a directory, if you set sticky bit on file or a directory, only owner of the file or root or root can delete, and no other users to allow to delete files or directories. No other users to allow deleting files or directories. right? SUID, SGID, sticky bit. Now we'll see files or directories. So we can set sticky bit on files or directories. Right now we'll see attributes. Attributes. Sorry. Okay. Attributes. Attribute is a variable, the value. When you set attributes on file, when you set attributes on file, file will get the based on attribute value some permissions. Okay, permissions. So once you set, so based on your requirement, user can't modify, user can't delete, user can't move file from one location to another location, even though you logged in as root user. To secure important files, we can use attributes. Okay, sometimes accidentally we can remove, instead of removing one file, if that file is an important script, we can lose, right? The script again we have to rewrite. Okay, like any other important script files in your Linux operating system, we can protect with the help of attributes. Even though you logged in as a root user, user can't modify, root user can't modify, root user can't delete, root user can't move file from source to destination. Okay, if you want to modify, first we have to log in as root and remove the attribute value, modify, again set the attribute. So whenever it's required, remove the value, then modify and again update the attribute. Okay, here we have a different attributes. Okay, so but the most important attributes we have like I attribute and A attribute. There are U and some other attributes we have. Okay, these two are important attributes. Once you set A attribute on a file, it allows to update data into a file through append mode only. Okay, and user can't remove file, user can't modify, user can't rename, user can't delete files. Okay, only we can append data through append mode. Directly we can't modify using editors. Okay, when you set I attribute on a file, completely immutable, only user can read, even though logged in as root user. Okay, immutable completely, we can't modify, we can't write data through append mode also, we can't write. Okay, so whenever it's required, set A attribute or I attribute. Let me check. Yes, we have a dir1, right? So it contains some files, file 1, file 2, file 3. First modify file 1, write something into that. attr, just added one line. See, now root user can delete file 1, he can rename file 1 as some other name. Okay, he can modify, he can append data, he can edit also, right, using editors. Right, now set attribute on file 1. So to set attributes, we have a chattr command. Change attribute, chattr plus a to add attribute, plus operator, plus a, and then file name, file 1. To see the existing attribute values on file or a directory, ls attr, list attributes, file name. Added A attribute, added, right? Right. Now try to modify file. Root user is trying to modify using editor. Insert. added something. Escape, try to save. What it says? Can't open file for writing. It allows to insert something, but whenever you're trying to save, it won't accept. Okay, file is only open for reading, not for writing. Even though you logged in as root user. Quit from this. Right, try to rename file 1, operation not permitted. Try to remove file 1, operation not permitted. Yeah, normal permissions, we'll see. Try to move file from current location to OPT or some other directory. What it says? Permissions not, operation not permitted.
This permissions will be same.
Yes, permissions still remain same.
Only read.
Yeah, giving attribute value setting. Okay, once you set. So if you want to say attributes, lscattr we have to see. Using ls we can see the traditional file permissions. Right. Now append data. How to append? We have an append operator. So we can redirect one command result into a file, or we can append file 1. Appended? Yes. Read file 1. Same result appended, right? So before it's over half, only one line. Now ls-l result appended to file 1. The same result appended to that, right? Same content or not? Or you can use echo. So we have echo. Appended. So read file 1. Added or not? Yes. Only allows user to append data through append mode. User can directly modify. So is there any important files? Secure with this attributes. Secure with this attribute values. Now set I attribute. What will happen? We'll see. So to remove attributes, what is that? Minus operator. To add plus a, to remove minus a. lsattr file 1. No attributes. hattr plus I file 1. Run. I attribute added. Now try to append. Okay, user can't perform operations like moving, renaming, delete. Okay, directly modifying using editors. So, okay, now try to append data. What will happen? We'll see. Cat append operator file 1. Permissions denied. Directly it shows permissions denied. Right? Or try to redirect some result file 1. Permissions denied. User can't modify. User can't append. So if you want to add something into the same file, remove the attribute, add, again set attribute.
But this only read permissions. Anything.
Everything. Can't modify. Only he can read. That's it. Users can copy file from this location to another location, but they can't remove source files. Right? So even though logged in as root user. So note down attributes. Using chattr in brackets change attribute using chattr. We can set or unset. To set or unset certain attributes to your file. Certain attributes to your file. In Linux, to secure accidental deletion or modification of important files and directories. To secure accidental deletion or modification of important files or directories. To secure accidental deletion or modification of important files and directories, comma, even though you are logged in as root user. Right. So example attributes. See, chattr is a command plus operator a. Then file or dir. Right. Note down. By adding this attribute to your file. No, we have more than. Just here I'm asking question. Only we have two. Yeah, we have more than these two. Like u, o, there are different attributes. We'll see that. Okay, but these two are important. Note down. By adding this attribute to your file, that means a attribute to your file, we cannot edit. We cannot edit a file, comma, delete, rename, comma, move. But we can append data through append mode. We can append data through append mode into your file. Right? Like example, we echo request, send echo request. attr append operator, file name, example, file 1. Software setting, this example, like we can append. So next, note down I attribute, chattr plus I. By adding this attribute to your file or directory, you cannot edit, delete, move, rename, and append data into file. We cannot. Right? The same thing. So, example file 1. Okay. Next note down, to remove attributes. To remove attributes. CHA -a file 1. Minus to remove minus operator. Okay. To view attributes value of your file. ls attr file name. So just go through this manual page to set the remaining attributes. Okay, just read. We have a J attribute something. Already we discussed small I, right? Capital I also is there. Okay. So N, yes. There are different attribute values are there. T attributes, U also. Just go through this manual page, apply the attributes. Okay. Fine. So have any questions up to here in file permissions, ACL?
After applying attributes, if you want to change your permission, then we can able to modify.
Yeah, you login as root, modify.
With other users, we will modify
Permissions, root user can perform. You can't modify. But if you want to do that, so remove the attribute, login as root. Right.
Hello, Suresh.
Yep. Tell me.
Anil here. I have a question regarding yesterday's class.
Pardon?
That ACL subject.
Okay. Tell me.
So we have created a directory from environments, right?
Okay.
Test, production, and some quality, right?
Yes.
So if we created a file in a development environment, do we access it from production and QA? I mean quality.
See, the group names we created. See, we have only one directory there. What is that directory name? Yesterday we created application, I think.
I think it's a DI or what? Yeah,
yes.
Okay.
We have only one directory, but we have a different groups. So like a test group, dev group, and admin group. Okay. So different users are added into different groups. Okay. The users in admin group not added into test group and dev group. Whatever the users in dev group, the users not added into test and admin group. See, whatever the users in admin group, you want to give full access to access an app directory. Okay, we have to set permissions. With same like test group, we have to access to give access for test group users read and execute on same directory app. With chmod command, we can set permissions for dev group as well as test group on same file, different permissions. Not possible. So for that, here we use ACLs. We have only one directory, different groups. For different group users, we have to give different permissions. With help of setf ACL access control list command, we can set group ACLs, user ACLs, other ACLs.
Okay, fine, but I mean that is for only test environment, right?
Not only test, just example I'm given. You can use any group.
It's like fine, but three are different servers, like I mean QA, testing, and production. So if I have created a directory in test environment, so I'm accessing. Do I mean have any? It's like is it possible to access the file from production?
Yes, you can access, right? If you have a remote access the server, we can access SSH through SSH. We can access remote files when you log in as user. But user needs to create at the source end. So you have a production server. So there we have to create some user accounts, some directories. You applied some permissions. Log in as same user account. So whatever the user having full access to access the directory. You can access from anywhere.
Okay, thank you. That's all I want to know.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So have you tried multiple users, how to create? Have you tried? Anyone? So we have user add, we discussed, right? Add user also we have. Is it tried to create multiple users? It will be created or not created with user add? No. So users, I mean, we can't create at a time multiple using user add. So how to create multiple user accounts? You have a requirement create user accounts like 10 or 20, 30 user accounts. So for that, user add, user 1, user add, user 2, like we have to do, right? So instead of that, no, curly braces, it won't work here. Okay, see, using user add, we can create only one user account at a time. To create multiple user accounts, so for that we have a different methods. One is through script, shell scripting. Write a script to create multiple user accounts. So we have another method, batch mode. So we have a new user command. Using new user command, so we can create multiple user accounts. Yeah, if you want to create multiple user accounts with new user, first we have to create a text file with user information. Then pass the text file to new user command. Okay, new user will create whatever the user account names you specified in the text file. So, and the third method is directly updating user information into password, shadow, and group gshadow files. Different method, 3 methods. So if you want to create a user, we have to use user add. When you run user add command, the same information will be updated to password, group, gshadow, shadow files, right? Directly write user information. So we have some structure, right? In password file, username, first field, you specify username, colon, text, then you give some one UID, colon, GID, comments, then user home directory. Whatever the user home directory you specified, we have to create manually using mkdir. Then shell name, password file updated successfully with user information. The same thing we have to update into shadow file, username, password field, then the aging policies, the default values we have to. Okay, then group, specify a group name, GID, the same thing you have to update into gshadow. Got it? We can use user to log in, to authenticate. So directly we can update like this, or use batch mode or script. We'll see how to create multiple user accounts with new user command. First create a file with user information, users.txt. User1, username u1 specified here. Then password, specify password here. UID, GID. /home/u1. Then shell name bin/bash. Repeat the same step for all user accounts. So we have to create a file with this information first. Okay. And now specify username u2, password. If you want to specify different password, you can specify. If we want to use same password, we can use. Different UID you have to specify here. Different GID also. U2. Like so on. Specify. Okay. Save and quit. Now try to run. New user. New users, right? User.txt. Let me check. U2 created. I think user1 already exists. So let me search for that. Yes, user1 already exists. That's why not created, not override. Don't create. If username already exists, don't create. So, but we are running with, batch mode, right? It won't show. So, but when you're trying to create with shell script, then it will give a warning message. User already exists. For that, we have to specify some syntax in the script. If user already exists, it shows username already exists. Okay. Like we can create multiple user accounts. Created or not successfully? Yes. First create a text file with user information. Username, password, UID, GID, comments, home directory, and login shell name. So let me check the shadow file. Updated, right? With password encrypted. Okay. And group. Created user u2. Yes, u2 created. Same thing, but we are not created any password here. That's why it shows it successfully created. So if you want to see that home directory is created or not, yes, created u2, u1, have right. If you want to create a user account, so log in as root directly, modify the password file. Go to last line, specify username here, new username, same fields we have to specify. Username :x UID and GID, additional information about user, home directory, then login shell name. Once you updated these fields, then modify shadow file with the same user information. Okay, so but we have to create this directory name manually. whatever the directory name you specified here, directory name we have to create under the specified location. We have to copy. We have to copy by SQL files. Creating user accounts manually, right? So for that we have to copy. Fine. Now we'll see sudo users. Sudo users. Sudo. Super user 2. Super user 2. Sudo. See. Using sudo, hold on. Using sudo, we can give privileges of root user to. Using sudo, we can give privileges of root user to specific user. Specific user. Privileges of root user to specific user without giving him root password. Without giving him to root password. It means what? So we can give a normal users to run various administrative commands as per requirement. Okay. See, for example, we have a user account root admin and user accounts like app test. App and test has limited access. They can't perform administrative tasks like creating user account example. They can't create, and they can't install application softwares. They can't manage services. Only admin user can manage all these things. So if you want to segregate these kind of actions to a specific user, that means if you want to allot a specific task for specific user account, if you want to allot a specific task for specific user account, so for that we have to give root password, root user password. If you provide a root user password for normal user, so apart from the task he can also do anything, right? So that is not a security. If you specify, if you given root password for anyone, they can misuse. Okay. See, instead of giving root access, we can allow a user to perform a specific administrative task using sudos. So for that we have to add users into sudoers list. Once you added user into sudoers list, there we have to specify which administrative task you want to allow to perform. So I'll tell you, right? See, we have a configuration file /etc/sudoers or directly by executing vi sudo. We can edit sudo's configuration file. We can add users into this list. Just run vi sudo. Only root user can add users into sudoers list. See what it says in the first line. Sudo allows particular user to run various commands as root user without needing root password. No need to share root password once you added user into sudoers list. right? It contains some information, so we'll see one by section. To add users into here, where is it? Yeah, so here we have to specify username and command name, which commands you want to run, allow to run. That command names we have to specify. So command names in the sense binary path we have to specify. So if you want to allow a test user to create user accounts, so we have to specify user add command binary path here. Example, test all. User can run from anywhere, all in the sense anywhere. So here we can specify a host to run this command. From specific host we can specify instead of first all, or a specific domain we can specify, or a specific network. From that, whatever the network name or a domain name or a host address or host name you specified, user can run the command from that host or a network or a domain. If you specified all, from anywhere from he can run, right? Next, here we have to specify the command to allow to run. /usr /sbin /user add. Example. So if you want to add another command, comma space command name, the binary path. Save and quit. That's it. Successfully added test into sudo works list. Now switch to test. Try to add user add test one. What it says? Already exist. We choose. Is that we created? Okay, A, B, C, D. Hey, sorry. I think SGAD bit is there. /sbin user add. That's why. Yes, remove the SGAD bit. chmod. Sorry, SUID bit. U minus S /usr sbin. Now switch to test user. Try to create user add Apple1 username. What it says? Permissions denied. Cannot log. So there is a execute permissions on the file, right? That's why it shows. User ID is trying to modify. So remove SUID. Okay. See, user can't create. So we have a sudo command. Followed by sudo, we have to run the commands. When you run the command followed by sudo, then it allows to create user accounts. Test one. Sudo test one. What it says here? We trust you have received the usual lecture from the local system administrator. Some information it shows. Okay, respect the policy of others. Think before you type. Something, right? Here, instead of asking root password, here it is asking user password. Root user password, right? Enter user password. Okay, user already exists. Apple1. Created or not? Successfully created. Sudo user add apple1, like apple2. Creating or not? So without sudo, user can't create. So we have to run allowed administrative command with sudo. If you added user into sudoers list. So this incidents will be triggered into a specific secure file. See all these transactions. If user executed any command with sudo, the same information will be updated to one secure log file we have. We can track that. If you executed wrong command, okay, that means not if here we are not allowed to remove commands. I mean user accounts. If you executed user del with sudo to remove Apple user, what it says? Sorry, user test is not allowed to execute has been user del something as a root on this. It won't accept. Okay, only whatever the commands we allowed, only those commands they can perform, they can run. Right, exit, switch to app user, try to execute user add command, sudo user add, enter. I think the password is not. What it says? App is not in the sudoers file. This incident will be reported. So user admin will get the message. So if you want to read that, yes. So you have mail spool, right? Yes. Access mail spool, user root mail spool. So we can use cat command, vi, more, less, any other commands to read the mail spool. So use less /var spool mail root. See here, app user not in sudoers. Incident reported or not? Everything. So whenever you run commands, so with sudo, the transactions will be stored into secure file. So there is a secure log file. So into that. Okay. See, if any user not in sudoers list, if he is trying to run commands with sudo, that instance will be reported to admin. Now any user we can add into sudoers list as per requirement. We can allow a user to perform administrative tasks via sudo. Right. If you know the command binary part, just specify that. See here, here we have a username, all, space, all, and all. What is the second all? So here, whenever you specify username, this all means whatever the username you specified, that user privileges will get the permissions, user permissions. So not required, no need to specify. So here directly we can specify command names. So allow user to run this command from specific terminal or specific network. For that, here we have to specify. We can restrict user to run this command from a specific terminal or a specific network or a specific host. We can restrict, right? So just specify command names separated by commas. That's it. usr /sbin/user del. Now test user can create user accounts, he can delete if you specify like this. Okay, so not only user add command, so there are different tasks we have to perform in the Linux box, like installations, managing services. Okay, so network services, there are storage devices we have, right? So how to manage? So we have to log in as root. So instead of giving root access, add users into this list, then assign task, then they can perform whatever the commands you specified in this list. See here we have a predefined commands list with alias names, predefined commands list as well as users with some alias names. See group of commands. If you want to allow a user to perform all network related tasks, so for that we have to specify the command names, whatever the commands are there in the networking, like to assign IP address, to edit interface, to see to modify something, network interface settings. There are different commands we have. Okay, so for that individual command names we have to specify username all equals to command name comma command name comma command name, like. So instead of specifying individually the command names, here there are predefined command aliases. Just use alias name instead of that command. Username all equals to alias name. See here, host aliases. We have a field like username, then all, what it means, hosts, allow user to run whatever the command you specified here from the specific host or from all hosts or from all terminals. Say if you want to allow a user to run command from a specific host, the host name you have to specify here. When you specify a host name, specific host name, only from that particular host machine user can run this command, or when you have a physical access, directly we can log in into that, we can perform that. So when you take remote access from remotely, if you want to allow a user to run a command at specific host, just specify. When user connected remotely from whatever the host name you specified, then they can perform these tasks. See for that, if you want to specify 3 or more host names or networks, just create a host aliases, like using host alias command. Alias name, this one specified here something. Okay, and user aliases also. We have a user alias command here. User alias name is admins. Okay, so create, just specify user accounts here. Instead of username here, specify user alias name. Then whatever the users in this alias, okay, then those users can perform whatever the command you specified, right? Like command aliases we have predefined, but are all in disable mode. Okay, not enable. If you want to enable, we have to remove hash mark. That means uncomment. All lines are commented out, right? So we have to uncomment to enable any command aliases, user alias, that's all. We can create our own aliases also, the same syntax, using same user aliases command to create user aliases, and command aliases, cmnd alias. See, networking alias name. So these are all network related tools, networking related tools, root command, ifconfig, ping, net, IP tables, rfcom, something, MII tools, these are all. So if you want to allow a user to perform these tasks, we have to specify command names individually, like. Instead of that, here created one alias name for this all commands. Now we can use networking, username all equals to networking. That's it. Then user can perform all network related tasks. Okay, next, installation, management of software. So here we have a tools to install RPM and M. Only admin can run those commands. So if you want to allow a normal users to install software packages, username all equals to command names PM or RPM. These command names we have to specify. So instead of that, here created alias name for these three commands. Software, cmd underscore alias software. It's like services commands. To manage services, here we have a different commands in Linux. Okay, so for those, if you want to allocate this task to your specific user to perform, okay, just use this, uncomment this line, just specify, or we can specify individually like username all equals to command names, like instead of like specifying we can use. See next, updating the locate database, storage, delegating permissions, processes, drivers. There are different commands and different tasks we have. So for that, created different alias names. These are predefined alias names. It comes with your sudo file. So you can use these alias names to allow to perform your specific user, or we can create our own alias names. Okay. Like user, there are predefined groups we have. If you want to allow a group of users to run a specific command or a specific task, if you want to allow to perform, so create a group, add users into that group. So specify a group name like percentile group name, the same syntax, all, then username, then all. If you specified all means what? Giving full access. Now user acts like a admin. With sudo, he can perform any task. Right here, we have a wheel group. Allows people in wheel group to run all commands. So if you want to allow a specific user to perform all tasks, that means administrative tasks, just add user into wheel group. No need to add user into file. Username, all. Directly add user into wheel group. We know that how to add user into wheel group, one group. We have a user mode command, gpassword. Directly we can add. Once you added user into this, user can perform all tasks. See, same thing without a password. Same thing without a password. So when you run a command after adding user into sudo list, by default it prompts for user password every time. Okay, so if you want to disable that, just use no password, this one, no passwd, then command name, then it won't prompt for password. See, there are users group, and we have a sys group also. Sys allows members of the sys group to run networking, software, services management, apps, and more. Right? So here allowed sys group users to perform networking related tasks. So this is alias name, right? Already we have a alias name in the above configuration cell, above lines, right? So networking, and then software, services, storage, delegating, processes, locate something, drivers. Create alias name. Instead of command names, we can use alias names. Now sys group users can perform networking, software, services related tasks. But the command line is commented out. To enable, just enable by uncommenting. Once you uncommented, is there any user into that group? Users can perform these tasks. Users can perform these tasks. Got it? So this is sudo access. How to give a sudo access for a specific user? How to give sudo access for a specific user? Just edit sudo file, add user into this. or add user into specific group. So you have a predefined groups. Okay. So if you want to note down this. Sudo allows particular user to run various commands as a root user. Sudo allows particular user to run various commands as the root user without needing the root password. Okay, so next, note down points. With sudo, permissions can be given to a user permissions can be given to a existing group and virtual group. Group and virtual group. Note down. Once added user into sudoers list, when user need to run the commands use sudo followed by command. Use sudo followed by command. Right? Say sudo command name followed by command name. That's it. Fine. So have any questions? So we can use this file also, sudo also. Vi sudo or directly we can edit file, same thing, same file. vim/it/sudo or vi sudo.
Suresh, can we use any other editor to edit this file, or we have to use only Vim?
Directly you can use vi sudo, the shortcut command to edit the file.
So, but can we use gedit or anything else, like if we want to?
Please, I didn't get you. Can you type here?
Okay.
Okay, so all sudo transactions will be logged into this file. So we can read this file by using tail, head, more, less commands. Okay, so that means authentication logs also will be stored. So we have a log file concept. See that. So I have different log files for different services. So how to read log files? We'll see. Try yourself. So how to lock user account after n number of bad attempts. Okay. When you type wrong password 3 or more times, okay, so we can lock user accounts after n number of attempts. So how to do that? Try yourself. So how to lock user accounts? Then One more thing, session timeout also, ideal session timeout. Ideal session timeout. So very important concepts: user administration, file permissions. If you know very well, so we can secure server. So I'll tell you the difference. There is a small difference between su hyphen sudo. Okay, I'll tell you that the difference. Okay, fine.